doing? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mike Files. I haven't been on in a minute. It's been kind of I don't know, things have just been screwy. You know, everything going on. It's not like it's any different than it always is. It's just, I don't know. Just haven't really had the go get 'em type of, it just gets old sometimes discussing this shit. Anyway. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Excuse me. I don't know where we're going to go with this today. I had a whole plan last night and I just didn't do it. It's like every night I write a show and then I'm like, I've just been like, fuck it. I'll just play guitar instead. So I've been doing more of that than anything, Just, things going on. Anyway, big news. Classified documents seem to be the big thing going on right now, which, quite frankly, I could care less about. I mean, who cares? They're making this big deal. Mike Pence supposedly showed up at Congress and he showed, had told on himself or something, I guess. And so they found classified documents at his house or wherever he lives. Cow pasture, I don't know where Mike Pence lives. I couldn't care less. I mean, you want to talk about a knob. That dude's a knob, so whatever. And then, the whole thing with Trumpy and then Joey, clown head, he's got, shit turning up everywhere. Sitting next to his Cadillac or his Corvette. I don't have as big a problem with Biden's having the classified documents as I have with him having a Corvette. I don't think he should be allowed to have a gas-powered vehicle, period. I think that we should go and we should auction those off, at least the Corvette. We should auction it off for charity, and it should be, the proceeds should be given to the homeless. That's what I think, because with what he's done to, and I'm not going to say fossil fuels because I hate using that term, because I don't believe that that's what oil and petroleum are. I don't buy it. I don't think that there's any amount of matter on this planet that could have been compressed to be 6,000 feet below the surface of the earth. I don't care. That means that the earth had to have grown over time. And if the earth has stayed on the same orbit around the sun for supposedly 4.6 billion years. That's what they say, right? That's what science says, 4.6 billion years. Well, look how well science did with COVID, right? I mean, we're talking about a fucking virus. They really did a bang-up job on that one. Speaking of which, we'll get into one of the Pfizer guys, one of the Pfizer scientists. They caught him. It looked like Project Veritas got him on camera talking about things to do with the vaccinations and the virus. And there was some weird talk going on there. I'm going to be very careful about what I say because, again, even when I say something that turns out to be 100% right, I still get banned by YouTube. And YouTube, you guys never fucking apologized for banning me from previous, You screwed me off. I just started my show. You guys shut me down, saying I was spreading medical misinformation when everything that I said was 100% legit and true. And you shut me down. So fuck you. You know what? I mean, I got nothing for you, I mean, it's bullshit. There's never been an apology issued. I still have a warning on my channel when I go on my creator page. Still says I have a warning from saying something, citing a paper, citing a medical paper from Lund University that was 100% legit from an accredited university in Sweden. I got banned for that. Oh, and then talking about how I handled COVID the second time I had it with prescription medication that I'd obtained, not from something that I went and got at Tractor Supply. So I brought that up and I banned. Sorry, you're off, So, I mean, I went from having, a number of subscribers right off the bat to all of a sudden nothing. Like, my show doesn't go to anybody. And I've contemplated changing the name, changing the form, just to get it. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. This is what it is. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to change the name of anything. I'm not going to try and skirt their stupid algorithm. It doesn't matter. They're just a bunch of fucking bots anyways, and a bunch of peons. And if they don't like it, then ban me again. I don't care. Go ahead. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, you've already done your damage. I mean, my shit got fucked up from the get-go. And that's just from telling the truth. It wasn't like I'm, spraying some kind of nonsense, some kind of conspiracy theory or anything like that. I'm just like, look, here's this study. And the crazy thing was I get banned, and 2 days later, some of the biggest shows out there are coming out with that study. And everybody's going, oh, giving them a golf clap. And it's like, dude, I had that out there 2 days prior to you guys, and I got fucking shut down. It happened to me a number of times. It's happened to me twice now. They tried to do it a third time, and I was actually able to appeal that one. But they give me copyright shit all the time. I've sent them copies of the emails from people like Tom McDonald, Brandon Hart, that have said I'm cool to use their music and shit like that. And every time I play it, they give me a copyright on that. So now the music that you hear is, regardless of how shitty it is, that's just me playing guitar, and that's 100% me. So they can't copyright that because I'm the one who played it. So anyway, I got more stuff coming out. So I'm working on a lot of different recordings right now. Some acoustic stuff, some more, hard rock type shit, some mellow shit, some, I'm kind of all over the place. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate lyrics. I've got a ton of things written, and you hear my voice. I don't know if it's the best for singing. I've never really sung before. Speaking of singing, my brother, Travis Hool, is in Cody, Wyoming for the weekend. He's going to be playing at Sleeping Giant ski area tomorrow. And the owner of Sleeping Giant, Nick Piazza, has been a guest on the show. Great couple of guys. Travis is just one of my favorite people on the planet. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play tomorrow. We have not seen each other in a very long time. I think the last time I saw Travis, I think we were at Cooter Browns, and I think I sat in and played percussion with him, and we had a great time. It was a good night. It was a lot of fun. He probably didn't have as great a time with me sitting there beating on shit, but it was fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it, and that was one of my favorite times. So anyway, if you guys, if you're going to be up there tomorrow or whatever, or if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, it'd be a great place to go. He's got this dude's an amazing musician, amazing voice, just a ton of soul, and just a really good dude. So go up and support him, support the mountain and everything they got going up there, So with that, there I've done my pitch for today. It looks like Atlanta is in a state of emergency till February 9th, is what they're saying, because of the Tyre Nichols. I don't even know what to even say about this. The 29-year-old Tyre Nichols was murdered by 5 police officers in Memphis. He was a black man. The 5 officers were black men. I don't know where this puts us with things. In my mind, it doesn't necessarily matter. But then again, it's never necessarily mattered to me one way or another, because not that people being taken out by police hasn't mattered, but the whole race thing hasn't mattered. It's like if a person is an innocent person, this was a traffic stop, and they beat him to the point where he died in the hospital. All 5 of these, I don't even want to dignify, I don't even want to call them anything. All 5 of them, though, were, they were found guilty of murder, 2nd-degree murder. So they're going to have a good time in prison. but it was kind of crazy. And they were all black. But this was not a situation where we were talking about white police officers beating a black man. These were 5 black officers, former officers, now inmates. I hope they never see the light of day again, to tell you the truth. I mean, this guy was a 29-year-old FedEx driver. I don't know a lot about him. I feel terrible for his family. I do have to say props because I believe it was his mother I just watched, and she was, they were holding a vigil, and she said that she just wanted everybody to protest peacefully. And listen, folks, I can understand how, you could get upset about this. Obviously, there's no reason for this young man to have died. Not during the traffic stop, and not like that. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't have the words for it. But I mean, obviously, you look at the whole race issue, and you think, okay, well, how's BLM going to handle this now? I mean, they've already lit a bunch of shit on fire in Atlanta. They lit a cop car on fire. But this is not this isn't the it's not the whole thing that you typically think of. You always think, okay, this is white police shot a black man. No, this was 5 black former officers beat this young man. Now they haven't released the footage. I don't know that I want to see it. Whether you want to watch it, that's up to you. It's your call. I don't know that I want to see it, just because I've seen enough violence in my day. That's all I needed to add. So anyway, I mean, I feel for the young man's family, and it's just another shitty situation over a traffic stop. I mean, in Memphis is a violent ass place too. How did there end up to be 5 officers on one traffic stop? I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm gonna have to do some more homework. I just saw that the governor of Georgia declared a statewide emergency until February 9th, I believe is what they said. So that's kind of crazy. Hopefully everybody keeps it, keep it 100 down there, Atlanta. You don't have to go burning shit down. You go and light fires and bash buildings and destroy shit. It's not, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't, have we not learned our lesson? There was how many $2 billion worth of damage done in the summer of 2020 after George Floyd's death. What did that do? It didn't really do anything, did it? You ruined people's businesses. A lot of people got killed. You just destroyed shit, A lot of innocent people lost their lives. I mean, you stopped people on their way to work. You bashed their shit in. A bunch of people with BLM got rich and got big houses. We know that. I mean, I don't know. What's the answer here? We got to figure this out at some point, I suppose. I mean, or we just keep going down this route. And then to have something like this happen where, this was the same as, with the whole thing that happened in Baltimore years ago, with Freddie King. They threw him in the back of the paddy wagon and just drove around like all willy-nilly, and he was just flopping around back there, getting thrown from side to side. They didn't have him shackled down, or they did it on purpose. They have a term for it out there. But those were black officers as well. But then the community still burnt down, the CVS for one thing. I remember being parked in front of that one day, going to a Baltimore Orioles game. And, we were getting some eyeballs. We were the only white people around, sitting there off the side of the road, parked there looking for directions to get to some restaurant or some shit, if I remember right. Anyways, enough of that. I just hope that everybody keeps it cool out there. from what I see, I mean, I guess everybody wants justice. When you talk about these murders, it's like justice must be served. But how does I don't even understand how that works, because justice doesn't, justice being served doesn't bring back a young person's life. It doesn't bring him back. It doesn't give the grieving mother of, say, Tyre Nichols, does it give her any kind of solace? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would put myself in that situation. I mean, in that situation, it's like, I don't know. I mean, certainly you don't want those individuals. I mean, if they could do that to a person, you definitely don't want them on the street. You don't want them on the street. And then the taxpayer, though, gets to pay for them being, housed up in prison for the next however many, the rest of their lives. So that's but then it's like, what do you have then? You've got, okay, what's the options? You got the death penalty, right? What's that do? I mean, I don't know where I'm at with that. They're talking about the death penalty in this Kohberger case out there in Idaho. And what a screwed up mess that is. I mean, I've said that's been a mess from day one. From what they released on the probable cause affidavit was that they'd obviously found the DNA on the knife sheath that was left on site. Just a little bit of DNA on it, on the snap, which really makes. I mean, it's going to be. It'll be interesting to see, but nothing's going to come out till June. And then you had this thing break the other day in that case where Xana Kernodle, one of the roommates that was brutally murdered, her mother was being represented by, I want to say the attorney's name is Ann Taylor, who also was representing Brian, whatever his name is, the burger guy, Kohberger. Now that's a conflict of interest straight up. And so what happened was this attorney recused herself from the case with, I want to say her name's Kara Kernodle. I could be getting that wrong. So she dropped Xana's mother's case that she'd been on for quite some time. It's a drug case apparently, and decided to take the Kohberger case, but that's a conflict of interest. I mean, there's no way that's not a conflict. I mean, so there's something weird going on there, really weird. And Kohberger could use that to. I mean, that conflict of interest, he could use that to totally flip the script on as far as a effectiveness of counsel appeal or whatever. And I'm not even certain what Xana's mother. It's a drug charge, and people have put this out there. Now, this is just a speculation that I've heard. This is alleged. I'm not saying this is the fact. I'm not promoting these conspiracy theories. Nothing like that, but it was a drug charge, and it's been said repeatedly that home that those kids lived in was a drug house. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't think I see those kids. I've seen pictures of them. I know what I know what people look like that are in a home like that, and yeah, they might have partied and drank, but what kids in college don't? Kohberger was apparently a drug addict. Still a drug addict. Once you're an addict, you're an addict. But apparently he was pretty heavy into heroin, is what they say. He doesn't look like your typical heroin addict, but I don't know. It's kind of just a bunch of crazy things involved in this case. And like I said from the get-go, it's like either this guy got set up or he's the biggest psychopath around. And I'm still thinking the same thing. It's just like this dude. I mean, he shows, And everybody's going to say shit, too, after the guy gets arrested. You know, everybody's going to say, well, he always acted weird. He was a loner. He was standout. You know, blah, blah, blah. You know, they talked about him getting bullied by girls. They've also referred to him as an incel, which is a involuntarily celibate male. And apparently there's a group of these guys out there, I guess. I've never heard of this shit in my life. The dudes that can't get laid. So they hate females because of it, apparently. Is what I gather. I don't understand. They said he's creepy around, you know, this Koberger, whatever his fucking name is. They said he's creepy around females. My guess is that he'd gone into that restaurant where Kaylee and Matt, I think Maddie worked there too. The Mad Greek in Moscow, out of Sitka, Alaska, of all places. But they had vegan food. Koberger also had gone through an interview process with Pullman Police. There's emails of that. He was down. They know that he was down to the you know, they'd taken it down. They'd whittled it down to 4 candidates for that job, and he was one of the 4. And there's emails of him, you know, emailing the police chief or whatever, the same police that went in and took all the shit out of his apartment. They said there was a pillow with, you know, dark brownish red stains on it. Who knows what was in there? They're not going to come out and say, because all they had to do was produce the probable cause affidavit. So whatever else they have, and I guarantee there's more stuff that they do have, and that's not going to come out till June because they pushed it back. So if it even comes out at that point, but it, you know, it'll give the defense plenty of time to go through all the evidence that they do have. Because obviously, you know, I don't even know how they're going to find a jury that's going to be unbiased, because the whole country knows about this thing. So, I mean, everybody's been watching it. Everybody's, as far as I know, I guess I talked to some people here and there that don't even have a clue. It's like, hey, did you see what went on out there with this and that? And they're like, huh? It's like, what, do you live under a rock? Maybe they'll find some people that live under a rock. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Anyway, we got that going on. I'm going to talk a little bit about Biden's Corvette. And then you want to talk about the future of electronic vehicles. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? The cost of the batteries. I was looking this up last night. A remanufactured battery pack for a Tesla for a Model 3 is going to run you anywhere around $9,000 or $10,000. That's $9 or $10,000, okay? A new battery pack is going to run you $22,500. I mean, this is crazy. And what goes in to making the batteries? You got to have a case for them, right? Where's that come from? Petroleum. So we've let this fucking idiot, Joe Biden, basically decimate the petroleum industry in this country. Put how many thousands of people out of work? Ruined people's lives. Ruined our lives. I mean, I have never been so concerned with driving as I have been since this asshole's taken over. And now what they're saying is, well, you're just going to have to walk. This country has more resources than any place on the planet. And we were completely independent. As far as petroleum went, we were independent of that shit. We didn't have to worry. And we're flying this asshole around in a fucking goddamn jumbo jet that baseline is costing about $206,000 per fucking flight hour. Okay? We're flying him to and from his vacation homes where he stashes classified documents out in the garage next to his Corvette in a locked garage. And he's like, whoa, it's a locked garage. That's where I keep my Corvette. Yeah, in a home that your son, Hunter, who will sell anything to anyone, who has no shame, who has no scruples whatsoever, is listed as the owner. The guy took out a loan and he said he was paying $50,000 a month for that home. So he's listed as the owner of that home as well. $50,000 a month? That is suspect. That's suspect. That's got money laundering written all over it, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me how it doesn't. Tell me how that's legit. And they're going to go after this asshole for having fucking, all this is the Democrats saying, look, we can't have this guy run again. We're going to keep him from running. And then you got whatever happened with asshole Mike Pence, where he comes in and turns himself in, like tells on himself. What was Mike Pence doing with any kind of documents? Dude, I didn't even see that dude do shit during the Trump presidency, other than at the very end when they were all yelling at him about how he needed to, do whatever to stop the election of Joe Obama. But here's the thing: is like they're coming after Trump for the thing, right? Okay. It's like they're making this look exactly like it looks with Joe Biden, because the documents that Biden had came from his vice presidency with Obama. And so they're saying, well, look, the onus is on Obama for this. And so now I think that they're like, well, we got to make it look the exact. So now we're going to get Pence, and then we're going to say, well, that's on Trump because Pence was his VP. So that's papers from the Trump presidency. So that's the same thing. It's all these what if-isms, these whatabouts, whatever they want to call it. What about just fucking fuck them all? That's what I kind of say. Fuck them all. Throw them all in prison. Who gives a shit? They're all about dead anyways. I mean, just get them out of there. Send them on their way. Fucking go. Pull their fucking pensions and everything like that. Take their money. Take everything. Take Joe Biden's fucking dough and give it to the homeless people. You know what I mean? Go put Mike Pence in a goat pasture and take Trump and do whatever you want to do there. I don't give a shit. He's running in 24. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't mean a thing. It's just going to be the same old shit. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same old shit. It's going to be the same old thing. And you and me, the American people, are just going to keep getting fucked and screwed. That's it. Until we wake up and realize that's the fucking nature of the deal. This is what we're going to get. We're just going to keep getting the same thing. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Republican or a fucking Democrat. It doesn't matter. That's why anybody with any scruples like Tulsi Gabbard has just withdrawn. If we got to have a president, I would love to see her run. Quite frankly, that'd be awesome. But I don't even think we need a fucking president, because it doesn't matter. They're just a sock puppet. The people that are running this shit show, it's been shown in the Twitter files, and if anybody's paid any attention to that, which most people haven't, because the media hasn't been covering it, Musk has put out, 14 or 15 of these different dumps with these emails and shit. It's showing that the FBI was basically colluding with the DNC and using, Twitter. It hasn't even come out what's gone. We already saw what happened with Facebook. At least what's his name? That goofy looking fucker, that Facebook guy, Zuckerberg. He was on the Rogan show, and he came out and said, well, yeah, they let us know that we needed to be vigilant because there was going to be some kind of a Russian misinformation dump concerning Hunter Biden. Well, they'd been sitting on that fucking laptop forever, for a year. They knew what was in there. And then they send their idiots out in Congress, and they're questioning them, and the guy's going, oh, I don't know where the laptop. You don't know where that laptop is? Bullshit, motherfucker. That thing's got the proof right there that Joe Obama was involved. With China, with Ukraine, and then he says, "Oh, I never had anything to do with my son's business." He left that voicemail on his phone telling him he thought he was in the clear. Do you say that to a person that's not guilty of something? Do you tell them that you're in the clear? I don't think so. I don't think you talk that way to somebody that hasn't done anything wrong. Why would you do that? Why would you call somebody and tell them you're in the clear? Hey, Hunter, it's Dad. Gives him the time, the date, everything. It's right there. No one says a word about it, though, because it's just old creepy Joe. Just let him go sniff some more hair. I mean, like I said, I don't care. Republican, Democrat, I don't have anything to do with either one of those. Either one of those asshole parties can just fuck off. Anybody that wants to be, in office has got a problem anyways. These are all narcissistic fucking sociopaths that are doing this. Why else would you do this? I mean, it costs you what, $10 million to get a Senate seat? Oh, and then fucking Shifty Schiff now because he got fucking booted off the Intel House Committee. Now he's gonna go and supposedly run for the Senate. Hey, jackasses out there in California, maybe don't vote for that pencil neck, hot dog, pasta eating fucking fool. I mean, that guy is the worst. He's the worst. I don't even know how anybody would vote. How do you vote? Californians, answer me this. How do you vote for a guy like Adam Shifty Schiff? Well, just look at the guy. I mean, he is just the epitome of just a turd. I mean, they ought to lock him up. I said this on Twitter earlier. I said, you know what? I'd go do another year in the feds if you'd guarantee that I would be able to go to the same yard as him, because I'd take that year. You bet. Have somebody come in. I mean, they film these jail shows. You could have it filmed. It'd be fun as hell to watch that. I wouldn't put hands on the dude. Nothing. No. But I'd make his life miserable. I'd make his life hell. I wouldn't touch him, but don't have to. You don't have to. That's the thing. People don't understand that. You don't have to be violent. You don't have to be violent to come at somebody. Now, it took me some years to figure that out. But a guy like Shifty Schiff in prison, shit, they're not going to send him to prison anyways. If they do, he'll end up at a camp. Steve Bannon will do better in prison than Shifty Schiff. Steve Bannon will be just fine. He's the kind of guy who'll go in there and he'll probably be running shit. Shifty Schiff would go in there and just be somebody punk boy. I can tell you that for a fact. I'm just looking through show notes. I got a pile of them here that I haven't done anything with. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't going to go too long here anyways. Seems like there was something else I was going to bring up. I don't know. I'm sitting here, just babbling. Anywho, what else has been going on here? Anybody? Bueller? I don't know. That was the big thing. They put out the Paul Pelosi tape today too. Did any of y'all see that? I don't know if you did or not. That was pretty brutal. They had the footage from the body cam of the police officer that knocked on the door, and then there was another officer as well. And that dude did straight up. I mean, that's a big dude. That DePape was a big fucking dude, and it's hard to tell if Pelosi was tethered to him or not. Now, my whole question on this whole deal is, if Pelosi made the call from the bathroom of that house, why did he not lock himself in the bathroom? DePape had a hammer. They showed DePape coming up to the house. All right, they show him. He comes up. He looks in. He goes around the side of the house for, it's probably a good 5, 6, 7 minutes if you guys haven't seen it. And then he comes back around and he's got he's got like a sleeping bag and 2 backpacks, and he's digging through them, and he keeps turning like that. And it's hard to tell because it's just a security camera, right? Shooting from the top down, but he keeps turning, and it's almost like he's talking to somebody because he keeps doing it. He keeps doing this. He keeps it's not like he's just looking over his shoulder. Like if you're looking over your shoulder, you just do a quick glance. He's turning and he's focused on something. Is he talking to Paul? Who's he speaking with? I want to see if there's more footage released from like another angle or something, because from what I saw at the front corner of that house, there's a camera going one way and a camera going the other. So there's got to be more footage of this. There's footage of everything anymore. It's weird though. His behavior is weird. He walks back to the back of the house, with, it appears to be 2 backpacks and perhaps a sleeping bag tied to one, or just a sleeping bag. So is he having a slumber party? He's up at Pacific Heights. You know, was a rich neighborhood back in the day. I don't even know what it's like anymore. I haven't been to San Francisco in a very long time. But he's turning around and he keeps doing it repeatedly. It's like he's having a conversation with somebody. It's kind of weird. But it's somebody that's off. Either they're talking out the window at him, and then he gets his hammer out, and he takes forever. Like, he's really deliberate. He takes forever. He's got the hammer. He takes a long time. And then he goes up, and he kind of takes the... Well, here, I mean, this is just a little trim hammer that I have here. You know, this is just a little finish. But he takes the end of it, and he like goes at the window like that with it, and then he just starts... We're talking about French doors. This is a big dude. He's a big guy. He's just swinging at these doors. I mean, he's swinging. He starts hitting. I mean, it's like, dude, he's obviously special. But I mean, to break through one of those doors, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, because you're going to break through the window frames on those things. I mean, all you got to do is just punch a hole in it, and that's it. And you can reach it and unlock the goddamn thing. And that's kind of what it shows him doing. And the video I saw anyways, he reaches in, and then he's in the house. And then the police come in, and he's standing there with Pelosi. They're both standing there. Pelosi's in his undies. It doesn't look like the Pape ever even had any shoes on. When he walked up there, I don't think he had shoes. It didn't look like he had shoes on. Maybe he did. There was a shoe laying on the floor when I think they tased him. It sounded like they were, giving him the old fucking electricity. But I mean, he smashed old Paul Pelosi right in the head. They said, put the hammer down, and he said, I don't think so. And he just smashed Pelosi right. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, he took that hammer. I mean, he was wham right on the top of the head. I mean, and Pelosi's laying there out like in a puddle of blood. You know what I mean? And I don't know what she probably lost her dentures over this. I don't know. It's crazy that they released the shit, but who knows? It's really, I don't want to see anybody get harmed, obviously, But the way the Democrats spun this was absolutely just outrageous, because you're talking about a nudist fucking, illegal immigrant, complete fucking left-wing dude that's a drug addict, homeless. Obviously, he's got special problems. He's got to be on medication. I mean, the dude was living in a school bus, whatever. That's fine. I've been homeless. It's not, I'm not going to judge somebody by that. I mean, but there's footage of him with the mother of his children or whatever. He's videotaping her nude wedding downtown. She's marrying some little skinny hippie. He's got shit written on him in Sharpie. They're all naked, and it's just weird fucking people, man. Whatever. To each their own. I mean, and he's sitting there videoing it all, and then he's like talking to him like he's some kind of a fucking counselor or whatever, but I don't know. More will probably be released. And then apparently they're going to release the footage of Tyre Nichols. And, like I said, I don't necessarily, I didn't even want to see the shit with Paul Pelosi. I was just curious how it all went. I've been curious about how it played out. I didn't know how the dude got in. They said that he broke out the back door. You look at the photos, there was glass that was blown out. It looked like it was a different door than he was wanging on with the hammer. I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. And if Pelosi was able to get into the bathroom and make that 911 call, then why the fuck would he go out of the bathroom if you've got a guy in that house that this is an old house in Pacific Heights in San Francisco. I guarantee you those are solid wood doors in there. You take your chances at that point. If you think this dude's bound to do you harm and you're in that bathroom, he let you go in the bathroom and you got your cell phone in there and you're able to make a 911 call, you don't leave the bathroom. You fucking turn the deadbolt and you let him fucking go at it with his hammer, because that dude, even as big as he was, He isn't going to get in that door with a hammer by the time the police show up. And the police saying that they didn't know whose place it was or whatever is bullshit. You can't tell me that you're a police officer in a city like San Francisco and you don't know the address of the third most powerful person on the planet, being Nancy Pelosi. You don't know the address there? And the whole thing about the security cameras not working? Bullshit. That was a security camera that they show. I mean, they said, oh, they weren't functioning. Bullshit. They were fucking functioning just fine. So it's all these lies, you know? What the hell really went on? I'm not making any assumptions right now about any of it. I'm just saying that the whole thing never made sense from the get-go, and it really doesn't make sense now. And Pelosi's standing there with him, and DePape lets him go answer the door. Now, he knows it's police. Why is he going to let him? And then they say, well, give us put the hammer down or what. And he says, I don't think so. And he just went back and just smash. I mean, that was nasty. That was brutal. Why'd he do, what's going on here? There's so much more to this story. And there's much more to the Paul Pelosi fucking DUI story, too. There's just this whole thing. What did Nancy have to do with it? What, you know, I mean, the guy said he was going to go in there and he was going to take her and break her kneecaps or something. But why? He liked Nancy Pelosi. DePape is he's a left winger. I mean, the guy's a fucking nudist, drug addict, homeless, fucking illegal immigrant. And then they're saying they're just going to deport him? You just like attempted murder on the former Speaker of the House's husband after breaking into the home, and they're just going to deport him. Yet on the southern border, everybody just come on in. It's cool. We're having a party, you know. Just hang out. That's all good. Join up, you know. We'll pay for it. Here's a cell phone. Here's a hotel room. You want to go to Martha's Vineyard, New York City? Where you want to go? You know, and then DePape, we're just going to deport him. The guy just fucking cracked Paul Pelosi in the head with a fucking hammer. I really couldn't tell what kind of hammer. It doesn't matter. Hammer's a hammer. Just a weird deal. And the little still shots that I've seen, it's like DePape is like smiling. And I can't tell if he has shoes on or not. And it almost looks like Pelosi was maybe tethered to him. Like, but... So how did he get in the goddamn bathroom? There's a story there. I mean, either he is a complete moron, because if you get in that bathroom, you just lock yourself in. I mean, if I got somebody in my home that's holding me at gunpoint, and I'm like, hey, man, I really got to go take a piss, man. Just let me go bang a leak out, and then you can go back to taking me hostage. I'm not coming out of that bathroom. I'm locking the door. I'm trying to get out a window. I'm not coming back out there to somebody that's planning to do me harm. You know? I mean, if somebody comes in here like that anyways, I've always got to, I've got my ways. I mean, you got a gun pulled, you better be ready to use it. I mean, people are shaky in close quarters. I don't give a shit about going at somebody that's got a fucking firearm. And if you're carrying a fucking hammer, then guess what? You're not really a threat. I mean, straight up. You just go ahead and swing that fucking hammer. Let's see how that goes. You know what I mean? It's probably not going to go that well. Not in my home anyways. There's no way that somebody's going to hit me in the head with a fucking hammer. Or they might get hit in the head with their own hammer. It's just crazy shit, It's absolutely nuts. Something else was going on. The timing of it being right before the elections, and just how weird it was that the police show up, the door opens, and it appears that, he's like, oh, it's okay. He's trying, and he's like, give me the hammer, David, or something like that. He's calling him David. He told on the call that he made, the 911 call, he said that his name is David and that he was a friend. He's been known, Paul Pelosi's been allegedly an advocate of the LGBTQIA, whatever other acronyms. I don't know them all. I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I guess for all of us to figure out. It really is. It's inconsequential, I suppose, but there was a reason for it happening. I believe his behavior, this guy's behavior outside the home, was really weird. Just sitting out there, and then the fact that watch it, take a look. The way he keeps turning his head. He's not doing the old glance and make sure no one. I mean, like, he doesn't look when cars drive by, right? You can see headlights going by on that street. He does not even flinch at those, but there's something there that keeps making him turn around. Is somebody talking to him? Does Pelosi have a window open? Is he talking to him? Is he talking to him through a security camera? Is somebody else? Is he talking to himself? He keeps turning, but it's deliberate and it takes time. He's not turning and looking like, is somebody like, if he didn't think that he was just fine in that, at that back door with all his shit there, then why wouldn't he go someplace like an alleyway and get his fucking hammer and shit? Why did he bring all those bags there? I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense. Just like nothing does. And usually when it doesn't make sense, there's a reason for it. There's so many of these things go on that just, they don't make sense. And then you sit there and you listen to the news media and the way they spin it and everything. And it's just like, you're kind of going, wait, am I fucking stupid here or what? And yeah, maybe so. I mean, there's a lot of stupidity going on. I hope you're not involved in it, because stupidity is a very difficult thing to get out of. So if you're in that stupid shit, get yourself out. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to try and come back sooner than later. I just haven't had a lot of motivation to do this recently because all this stuff is just so fucking asinine. Anyways, with that, everybody have a good Friday night. Go out, get stupid, be somebody. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink. Be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm. From 52 miles east of Jellystone Park out of Coyote, Wyoming, I'm your host, Michael File, and this is the Mike Files. If you have the inclination, give it a thumbs up. Hey, buy a shirt. They're cool designs. I think so anyways. I'm not that cool, but hey. Anyways. On that note, I'm out. Later days, Willie Mays.